Thank you so much. We was playing after Bandoneon, another one of my compositions. This is a fast, milonga rhythm, and I call this tune La Rayuela, that means hopscotch milonga. Now, having this wonderful audience, music teachers, I think it's very good to know about some kind of, can I say this? Weird instrument? No, because it's
an amazing instrument.
Yes, we are an amazing instrument. I'm talking about the Bandoneon. This is a portable organ that German people invented many years ago. But the man that really knows is Hector. You can say something or show to the world how is he wearing this instrument?
If I see something, I will say something. Well, first of all, welcome everybody, and thank you for being here, and thank you for staying here after seeing this instrument. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history of this instrument. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me now? So this instrument has a very interesting story and history. It's called Bandoneon, and I know that there are some people in the audience that like my explanation. So if I ask you what's the name of this instrument, would you be able to repeat it?
Bandoneon.
Yes, Bandoneon. Just in case you forget, think about the band of onions. So this instrument was created in Germany, and the purpose of the instrument was to replace the organ, the church organ, for various reasons. One of them was the price of the church organ, and the other one was that they wanted to use it in processions, and it took too many people to carry the church organ. So they created this instrument, which also it's as Pablo said, is a weird instrument, and it has the way they built it was based on a concertina, and the concertina has only a few rows. If you have seen one of them, they're smaller, much smaller, and there are many kinds of concertinas, but they have only a couple of rows, some of them, and that's where this one is coming from. Then after that, they started to add more notes, because they needed more notes to play, and they started to add more notes. But are there any Germans in the audience? No? Yeah, but I don't care about it. And what happens is, Germans have very good beer, and I believe, my theory is that they were drinking before they did this. So they put the notes in random places. So this is what happened. So there is no logic to it. Well, there is a logic of the beer. But also, to make it more complicated, they did something totally different on the left hand. So we have two different keyboards, right? Yes? Yes. No. We have four keyboards, because what they did is called by sound. So it's one note when you open and another note when you close. So, and it can be any note. But that one is the same. Same in here. So, and to make things more interesting, you cannot see them. So I know by now that many of you are asking for my phone number to study Bandoneon. But want to tell you that when they did this, guess what happened with the German people? Nobody wanted to play it. So what do you do when you have a product, you build it, and nobody wants to buy it?
Export.
To where? To Argentina. So we got it in Argentina. You know, Argentinian people, we have this fame of being very proud of ourselves. That's true. We actually figured out the keyboard and we started to learn it. After that, they created this bandoneon called chromatic, which they organized all the notes. Very cool, but nobody wanted it. So this instrument became the voice of tango because there was not any other instrument that sounded like this. And tango started with violin, flute, and guitar, which are very common instruments in many different types of music. But the bandoneon was not. So when you hear anything that is going on, like any music, and you hear bandoneon, you think that that's tango. And that's what's happening today with electronic tango, with salsa tango, mambo tango, and all the tangos that they put a bandoneon, and it has a flavor of tango. So now you're wondering, this is the last thing I'm going to talk, and then we are going to play. So if you're wondering why I chose to play this instrument, I come from a family tradition. So my great-grandfather was a bandoneon player, my grandfather was a bandoneon player, my father was not a bandoneon player, but he saw in me that person that he wanted to be, but he didn't want to practice to get there. So that's how we got to play this instrument called bandoneon.